On the Wado Radio Show.
Yes, it's DJ Wado. It's the Wado Radio Show. It's more than music, it's ministry. And I got a dude on the line, man. I feel like he has perhaps the most anticipated album of this year. Out right now, just dropped it. It's called Memoirs of a Perfect World. You know, he hails from New York. Got the homie Selah the corner with me on the line, man. What's up, bro?
What's up, big boy? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great, brother. I'm doing great, man. So the first question I got to ask you is, how does it feel to actually have this project out, bro?
Honestly, it's just a relief, man. You know, I kind of feel like, you know, mixtapes is amazing for the culture and for hip hop in general, but the album is something different that I think every artist has to, like, you know, they have to break down that wall before they, you know what I'm saying, before they really, like, legitimize as an artist. So I'm just happy that God gave me a way out of it and he allowed me to put out something substantial and worthwhile, man. So I'm just grateful, man.
Well, you know, I mean, Selah, I got to be honest with you, bro. Like, I mean, you've admitted this. There was definitely a wait for this project. But, bro, like, just in listening to it, and I've been sitting with it, like, the past week and a half or so, like, you put so much into this, man. Like, this really feels like a life's work with this project, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. I think what my objective was, you know, the average rapper usually wants to make his album into a movie, and that's great because you want an emotion to be attached to your album, you know. But I believe God wanted me to make, instead of the album be a movie, every track be a movie, and the album be a saga. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you think about how much energy it takes to direct 18 movies, and that's what the project is. Like, every track is a movie, and you know, it took time. It took time because you know, a lot of it was me being stubborn, not wanting to say what I needed to say because I didn't want to let people into that intimate part of my life, or just trying to get the creative aspects ready and right and quality, you know, at a quality level. But now that I step back and I look at it, you know, I'm really happy that I took the time that I did because I want this thing to ring on for a long time.
Sure. Did you what was the hardest? Which song was the hardest one for you to write?
Emotionally, Introvert.
Wow.
Because that gives the listener a little peek into, like, my anxiety.
Sure.
And that's the song I didn't want to write the most, without question. Because that's something that a lot of rappers struggle with, that a lot of people don't know. You know, it's kind of like it's counter what everybody would expect, because why would a public figure not want to be around crowds? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of rappers go through that, you know, and we share it with each other. You know, when we talking and stuff, like, yo, man, I'm having a hard time. There's mad people in there. And nobody ever knows that, but it happens. So Introvert emotionally was the hardest to write. Complexity-wise, the hardest song was to write was United States of America. Because that's probably the deepest layered song I've ever written. And that took me at least, like, 2 weeks to write.
Wow.
And,
wow.
Yeah, that was a hard song.
I mean, to hear someone like you, a lyricist like that, it literally took 2 weeks to write the record. That's insane, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
The Introvert, is your anxiety with respect to people, is it the actual stage part, or is it like the meet and greet type stuff where you're in a room full of people who may, like, love your music, you know what I mean, and really connect with you, but it's still, to an extent, these are total strangers?
I think with my anxiety, I mean, you know, when you live in a life outside of God, bro, it's the same thing. Like when you go off to war and you have that PTSD, you know, it's the same thing. when you living outside of God, bro, and you're doing the carnal things, man. I was out in these streets.
Yeah.
We was banging, you know what I'm saying? We was shooting, we was running, we was looking over our shoulders, you know what I'm saying? And I was operating outside of my calling, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes when you come to Christ, that don't mean all your scars get taken away. You know what I'm saying? That's a healing process that gotta happen, and I've gotten a ton better with it, you know, because I've been in God's face a bunch, asking Him to help me with this anxiety. But
sure,
you know, a lot of it has to do with the fact that I was running these streets, man. And you know, now, I mean, well, back when I was in sin, I'd never sit with my back to anybody. You know what I'm saying? If I was in a restaurant, I'd never not be able to see the door. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm in hip hop, and I'm surrounded by people now. And there's like 1,000 people in the room asking me questions. And I thought I had it under control by myself on my own, and then I realized like how much, you know, my nervous system was going nuts, and I'm like, Lord, please calm me down. And I actually had to like really work on it. So you know, but God's given me so much, you know, had so much grace for me, and he's definitely helped me out. I'm a lot better now, man.
Man, that's dope, bro. You know, a record, and this was actually the first record you released from the project. It's one of the singles, Hypotenuse. And I think anybody who's ever done any type of substance, you know what I mean? Whether it's, you know, it's weed, it's something harder like coke or heroin or X or anything like that, you can kind of relate to that place of once you get freed from all of that and you're clean, and just being able to be in a space where it's just like, yo, I don't want to get high anymore, or like, I don't want to get high, period, even if you've never smoked, and saying, yo, like, I want that high to be in Christ, bro. Like, was substance something that you struggled and wrestled with?
I mean, you know, interestingly enough, man, I was the green light guy for everything but hardcore drugs.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying?
That's good. That's
but,
good.
You know, it might be good to a degree, but like I was the green light for violence.
Yeah.
Like if there was violence that needed to happen, like I was the guy that's like, all right, let's do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was the guy for anything else other than, because I had a fear of pills, man. I wasn't trying to do no pills. Like I wasn't trying to do nothing up my nose, nothing, you know, in my veins. Like anything that you couldn't, that wasn't green, I wasn't trying to do it. So that kind of like saved me from that. But you know, the point of that song was just to address the fact that Hypotenuse is a song that literally is unique to every different person. For me, Hypotenuse was a song about marijuana. Yep. Because that's what I found peace in outside of God. For somebody else, it could be a cup of coffee in the morning. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, a lot of Christians aren't the greatest people until they have their morning cup of coffee. and that's a problem. That's a problem, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about just telling people to keep a balance in their life and make sure God comes first, no matter what they're talking about.
Hey, you know people gonna be mad at you trying to talk about their coffee, bro.
I know, bro. I know. And I think that's where the pushback from the record came from, because I know people know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And they don't want me to get at their cup of coffee or the donut that they love to eat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you got to keep that stuff in balance, man. Before you know it, you'll be kneeling to something that you're not even aware of.
I was gonna say, I think a big one for people is sugar. You know what I mean? Like just sugar and, I mean, like you mentioned the donuts, but it's just it's like that's something I wrestle with. It's sweets and sugar, and you know what I mean? It's like I almost feel like, bro, like the FDA or somebody need to like really admit that it's like this stuff is addictive, man, and it kills people.
Well, bro, you know, it's the only reason why, you know, people don't look at it like that is because it's food to us.
Sure.
And what you have to understand, and God made us wonderfully and perfectly, but the body is essentially addicted to food because it needs it constantly. Yep. You know what I'm saying? The same way a drug addict goes through withdrawal when he doesn't have a drug. Your body goes through withdrawal when it doesn't get food. So you're essentially dependent on this thing. So, I mean, it's natural that you would look at food and be like, I need that. I crave that. And I'm mad if I don't have that. But, you know, the Bible also talks about, you know, if a man can tame his tongue to do anything, if you can tame what you eating, if you can tame what you putting in your body, man, you'd be a great person, man. I think we all need to learn that kind of discipline, bro, just to be able to just be like, I know I'm hungry, or I know I want to eat this particular thing, but I know I shouldn't, and I'm going to stop. And you're a great example of that, bro, man. You've had tremendous progress, man. I'm definitely an admirer of your journey.
Man, I appreciate that, bro. I'm still on it. Like, if I'm honest, I'm in a really tough space right now. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I keep saying, yo, tomorrow's the day I got to get back on track. And it's one of them things, man, where it's like, you know, like there's generational stuff, there's just food stuff, there's like, you got to watch your mood and depression. Like, all of that stuff is like intertwined with one another. You know what I mean? And I know, like, I can say this, like, when I'm those periods of time, whether we're talking days, weeks, or months, where I'm consistently watching what I'm eating and I'm exercising, man, it doesn't matter what else is happening in my life. I feel amazing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. Like I could be broke, I could be whatever, but I still feel amazing because my body is functioning properly. You know what I mean? Like, I'm putting the right stuff in it, I'm exercising it, and all of that. So, you know, sometimes, man, you just got to look at the end goal and the, you know, all of that, man, and just you know, try to make it happen.
Yeah, I think, you know, when you're eating, it's the same. It's a very similar process, you know, that you look at when in terms of your spiritual makeup.
Sure.
Like, is me getting in my word or not delving into this carnality going to benefit me long term? If the answer is yes, then I need to do it. Same thing with your food. Is me delving into this sugary substance going to affect me long term? If the answer is yes, then maybe I need to shy away. You know, so people need to really take that into consideration. And I've definitely been on it too ever since we talked, man. Just, you know, I'm down 25 right now.
Oh, that's killer, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna keep it pushing, bro.
That's what's up, man. You encouraging me right now, bro. You definitely encouraging me, man. So this is another thing I definitely want to ask you about the project, because I was even wondering about this when I saw the track listing. You know, like, my man Belief just dropped his project. He had his kids on the project, and you have your parents on this project, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It didn't seem possible to put down a life's work without including them.
Wow.
And the wonderful and the beautiful thing about that situation is that I didn't have to prompt my parents to say what they said. Like, I asked them to take some time out and to say some words to me, and I was just going to randomly put it on the album. When they gave me their recordings back, I realized, bro, that everything that they said, everything that you heard on the album, they said on their own.
Wow. So they didn't hear the music, nothing.
They didn't hear nothing.
Wow.
So when I have them in front of songs or as interludes before songs,
yeah,
they said that by themselves without hearing the music. So it's almost like it was ordained beforehand, man.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? That was fire, man. I love them, and I wanted people to know who I was, man. Because, I mean, yeah, I'm a street dude, and I grew up like that, but it's not because I had to do that. I had two loving parents who was rooted and grounded in the word that was telling me the right way to go, and I decided to ignore that. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted people to know that, man. I want them to think that I'm this guy who's professing that, you know, came up real rough and came up without this. That's not me, man. I ain't never rapped that, because that's not the truth. Like, I had parents, and I wanted people to know, you know, where I came from and what kind of family I came from.
Man, that's dope, bro. It really, I mean, just the times I've heard you talk about your parents and obviously hearing the album, it's obvious that, like, you guys are tight. So even with all the stuff that you went through with being in the streets and all of that, I'm sure that caused some, you know, just some disconnect for that period of time with your folk. Man, it's so obvious that y'all are tight though, bro.
Yeah, man. Those are, it's weird, man. I watch the Cosby Show and I relate so differently. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't never front, man. Nobody ever heard me say on a bar about how I had no pops or I had no milk for the cereal. Like, nah, man, I had all of that. All of that, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just, when people hear my testimony, I make sure they understand how embarrassing it is for me to tell them these war stories. Because I was the dumbest man isn't the man who just acts ignorantly. The dumbest man is the man who acts ignorantly, though he has the wisdom to act the opposite direction. You know what I'm saying? I had the wisdom and the knowledge given to me to shy away from all the negativity that I went to. And despite that information, I still did the dumb thing. So I make sure people know, man, like, don't get caught up in all of this, rah-rah, and be like, wow, this guy came from all of this stuff. Nah, man, I was an idiot. And Christ saved my life and gave me my intelligence back. And, I owe it to my parents, man, that I knew what name to call when I was in trouble. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted people to know that.
Yeah, that's real, bro. Your parents, I know, heavily involved in the church, and I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on this. I had Dr. Eric Mason. I did a video interview with him a few months ago, and we were talking about some of the disconnect that exists between traditional churches and millennials, hip hop culture, even Christian hip hop. And I would love just like some of your general thoughts on that. Obviously, growing up as a PK, being around the church, just seeing a lot of different things, obviously being out in the street for a period of time, and just would love your thoughts on some of that, bro.
It's I guess my perspective is a little bit unique because I'm a pastor's kid.
Yeah.
I remember, and that's why I always give respect to the pioneers, man. No matter what differences I may have with them, other issues, what I can't deny them is their bravery and courage in pushing the genre forward.
Yep.
When it had its initial start, because it wasn't easy for them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of churches just kicked them off stage or turned their mics off when he was rapping.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen anymore because of the sacrifices that they made. So I always give them respect, man. But I remember, man, I think I started rapping at the tail end of the pushback against the genre and against like Christian rap. I remember rapping and I remember telling people that I wanted to rap for Christ. And, I remember some older saints being like, man, leave that alone, bro. You a poet. Just write poetry, man. Don't do the devil's music. And initially it was discouraging, but in that way, my stubbornness and my rebellious nature actually worked. Because I was like, yo, I'm going to do this because they told me not to. But I remember, man, I remember cats looking at cats rap and the faces, man, and the mumbling in the crowd. And it's just like, yo, man, why are people looking at hip hop just negatively? It's clearly just a vehicle by which to convey a message. How are you demonizing the vehicle and not just saying the driver? And it's wonderful the way it's progressed. I think the younger generation now is a lot more free to express themselves in Christian hip hop, and it's given way to a lot more creativity. And, it's also given way to a lot more, clonage as well. You know what I'm saying? I think a lack of creativity has come as a result of the freedom. Cats are just getting, like, I am just sound like so-and-so. And I think that's where us veterans come in, and encourage the youth to not lose their creativity, because you're actually free to do this. People accept you to do this now because of what they did in the past. So, like, really give people what makes you you on these records and preach the gospel in a creative way, in a quality way. And I think that's where the disconnect is. Like, the older generation who went hard to get this okay,
yep,
wants to see the fruits of that with the young people.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And sometimes the young people don't understand that. They're just like, yo, why these old cats tripping? It's like because they want you to do it, because they went hard so you could do it. So I don't never disrespect the struggle that the OGs went through, man. I try to make them proud every time I rap.
I had somebody send me a tweet the other day, and they said they feel like a lot of newer artists are either afraid to carry the burden of the gospel in their music, don't desire to, or don't feel like this should be ministry at all. I would love your thoughts on that.
The desire, man, I can relate to the desire because, it might sound confusing, man, but you can want to do something and not desire to do it.
What do you mean by that? Like, you think desire is deeper? You think it's deeper?
I think desire is deeper personally, and I may be off as a if you're looking at a Webster's dictionary of the definition of desire, but to me, desire is another level of want. It's like want exponentially higher than the average, and it's like I want to work out, but if the desire ain't there, I'm probably not.
Facts.
But if you ask, you know what I'm saying? But if you ask me if I want to be in the gym, I'm gonna tell you yeah, but I'm gonna sit still.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that desire really comes from just operating in your purpose and yielding, man. You have to. CHH is not a genre where you can, just operate in it nilly willy, because you're literally fighting against a construct and a carnality that is surrounding you constantly.
Like so
you live in your passion's opposition. The world doesn't want to hear what you're saying, so you have to constantly be so driven by your purpose that you push past what's constantly surrounding you. That's a lot. It's a lot, man. A lot of cats just some fight the good fight for a little while and just put it away. And I don't ever judge cats for that, man. I understand what that feels like, but that's what comes with it, and that's what's great about having a great fellowship in GOM and other brothers in the genre. So you can just reach out to older cats and be like, yo, this is how I'm feeling, and they can relate to what you're saying and give you sound counsel, and you can refresh yourself and get back to work.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, man, I feel like one of the benefits has to be, in terms of being on God Over Money, is all of you all have a really strong, I think, desire to really do ministry with this music. Now, you guys are unique in how you present it. Like, I mean, obviously your style is totally different than Seven. Dayton is totally different than Bumps. Like, I mean, you guys are lyricists, but it's different. Y'all from different parts of the country, all of that stuff, man. And it's like it's a real movement. It's a real movement. It's a real collective of like-minded individuals. And I think sometimes that gets lost. Like I see some of these younger artists, and I'm like, man, if you were around different people, like, you may have a different set of encouragement to maybe deepen that want of carrying that burden of the gospel, or whatever you want to call it, would develop into more of a desire because of the people that are around you.
Yeah. It's I'm definitely in a really good situation right now, man. I was actually, I'm not naturally an emotional guy.
Yep.
To be honest, I'm real contained, but like I got super emotional yesterday with Biz and my DJ Why Not, man. I was just telling them dudes how much I love them. Because
Why Not been riding with you for a while too, bro?
Yeah, Why Not, man. Man, like super emotional with Why Not, man. These dudes was with me. Why Not specifically was with me from scratch.
Yep.
Like from the very beginning.
Yep.
And we got this day, man, that we talked about in a van in parking lots. You know what I'm saying? 5, 6, 7 years ago. And but yeah, I'm in a great position where I got seasoned, excellent brothers, and they have incredible amounts of wisdom, high quality wisdom, and I have access to that constantly, and they all from different places. So like, Seven's my mentor. So like when I need something, explained to me, not only is it explained to me, but it's explained to me from a totally different perspective in a totally different region. You know what I'm saying? And it's wonderful to have that at my disposal, man. I definitely am grateful for it.
Man, that's what's up, bro. That is definitely what's up. What are some of your goals that you have with your music? Because it's like it's crazy to think, like, bro, like, we've known about you for a while, but this is really like your first album. You know what I mean?
Man.
And so it's almost like you're a new artist, but you're a veteran in some cases, man. Like, so I mean, that probably even feels weird, man. But like, where do you see your career and your ministry, and just some of the stuff you're trying to do with it from that space?
I know Biz is gonna beat me up, but this is the analogy that I came up with, man. I feel like LeBron when he got his first ring in Miami. To be honest, man. Like,
yo, Biz don't make all y'all be Golden State fans.
Nah, I mean, you know what? It ain't even that. Shout out to the Golden State Warriors. Steph is a good brother. It's not even the team. It's the humility aspect of everything. You know what I'm saying? You want to just, specifically with me, make sure that my humility is on point. So, saying I'm LeBron, I know I'm going to get that text like, oh, you LeBron now? But, it's like albums solidify you in a way that mixtapes can't.
Sure.
And, but albums take a certain level of discipline that mixtapes don't. And mixtapes is fun to me. Like,
yep.
I love doing mixtapes, man. There's no thought involved. I'm just spraying. You know what I'm saying? Album is not the same thing. So, in terms of my ministry and what I see going forward, man, I purposely try to not think about that because I want it to be a blank slate for God to write whatever He wants to write. I just know I'm willing and I'm ready to go and do whatever He wants me to do.
Sure.
But I don't. The only goal that I've set for myself is obedience. And that's my highest goal, and my biggest goal is just to be obedient to whatever God wants me to do. So I don't know what's going to happen after this. I'm happy I'm alive because I wrote the album like I was going to die the day it came out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy I'm here and I have another chance to make music. So whatever He tell me to do, man, I'm gonna do it, man. That's the expectation I have for myself.
Sure. What period of time? Like, how long did it take you to record this, from soup to nuts?
Legit. It took me 2 years, bro.
It sounds like it. It sounds like not like the music sounds old, but it sounds like you can't just do this in 2 weeks. What you put out,
yeah,
it's too intricate.
Yeah, man. I promised. I told the fans, and I'm gonna be true to that word. I would never take this long to drop a project again, ever. But for the initial one, I think it took this long because of my stubbornness to write the records, and then when I finally yielded, I think God really wanted me to do this in a year, tops. But I was stubborn for a year. So my stubbornness, when I got my stubbornness out the way, then the process started. And that's not God's fault. That's my fault. You know what I'm saying? So, it definitely took about 2 years to execute like fully. And but I'm really happy that I followed the plan. After I yielded and submitted, I'm happy with the result, man. I really am.
Sure. Now, I know people are gonna wonder: do you plan to hit the road and do some dates, either some spot dates or hop on a tour or something?
Yeah, man. I've been thinking about that and praying on that, and me and Biz gonna get together and we're gonna finalize some things and stuff like that. And I definitely will be outside. Like, I'm definitely gonna promote this thing a bunch because of how long the fans had to wait.
Sure.
I want them to know it's here. I want them to know the effort that was put in, and I want them to have opinions. I want them to talk. The album was meant and created to generate and start conversation that we need to start having. And I want to hear what people have to say. I want to talk to people. I want to ask people questions. I want to answer people's questions. So I'm definitely gonna be outside.
Hey, that's what's up, bro. Selah, man, congratulations on putting this out, man, and just dealing with your anxiety, facing your fears, because so many people in life, not even just musicians, but so many people in life, like, they deal with the same stuff and they just quit. They just stop. They never complete the task, and they live life saying what if. And man, I really feel like even you just sharing that with people, letting them inside, you're gonna be an inspiration for many, bro.
Praise God, man. Praise God. Thank you, bro. Thank you for doing what you do, man. For real, it's very needed.
Nah, absolutely, man. Selah's new project, Memoirs of a Perfect World, is out right now, man. Make sure y'all support the homie.
Straight up, man. God over money, bro.
On the Wade Radio Show. On the Wade Radio. On the Wade Radio Show, where it's much more than music, it's ministry.